And after all that sharing of the story of waffle peace, and now that I really hope and I really want you to ask yourself, what did you receive from all this sharing from me? Did you have a peaceful moment at all? Did you practice to find peace for yourself? Or we still our old us, which is our previous person in the past, filled of sufferings and defilements? You have to ask yourself. Ask yourself this question. What have you learned from this journey? We don't want to take your time to come out here and then go home, turn back to the old day. The journey completed 2 months ago, it wasn't easy. But this is just the beginning of the peace, the walk, for all of us. Do you know why? Because there's no peace yet. Not enough yet, because there's still, I know that millions and millions of followers of this walk for peace. I recognize that. But we have 8 billions of people. So we need this walk for peace. We need this message to spread out to all these 8 billions of people. Not just millions. And so this journey ended in Washington, D.C., but it just begins for all of us to carry on this message, to carry on this journey, to continue this walk, to spread the peace message. Whenever we still walk together throughout our life, for the rest of our life, to spread this message to all beings, regardless of the backgrounds or anything, we'll be able to share love and kindness to them and continue spreading like this to 8 billions of people in this earth. That is when the world will be in peace. Rather than that, right now, it's only maybe 10 millions of people found peace on this walk only. We need more than that. So will you walk with us for the rest of your life? Thank you for that. Remind me of that message. At the homecoming at our monastery in Fort Worth, Texas, in the rain, I said, if you don't leave me, I will not leave you. And today I would like to make that statement clear so that you can understand it the right way. Why I say, if you don't leave me, I will not leave you. That is also with a condition. If you don't leave me, I will not leave you. That is a condition. Then why am I talking about unconditional loving kindness? Why you have a condition to the people, right? If you understand that way, then yes, it is a condition, which is not my intention. But my intention was, every day during the walk, I said, write out the statement, today is going to be my peaceful day. Listen to my talk. Listen to your heartbeat. Hello, God, are you okay? Okay? Come here. And then when you still listen to the talk, when you still listening to your heartbeat and your breath, when you're mindful practicing one thing at a time, no more multitask, that is when I am exist in your mind, in your thoughts, in your thinking, right? But what if one day you give up this practicing? You don't want to continue this practicing anymore. You just want to go back to the old days. It means that you don't listen to my talk anymore. You don't practice. Today is going to be my peaceful day anymore. You're not mindful of your breath anymore. You're not mindful with your action and speech anymore. That is when I leave you, because I am not in your mind, not in your thought. That is the meaning behind that statement. And of course, whenever you still walk, I still walk with you all. I can promise that. Because this journey to bring peace to the world, we have to walk together. And for this one, I always share loving kindness and compassion. This is what I receive. We as the Buddhist monk, the team receive every single day during the walk, started from Georgia. Before that, it's not every day, but from Georgia to Washington DC, this is what we get. Every single day. But did I react with anger? No, I didn't. I always react with kindness, saying, may you be well, happy, and be peaceful. And this walk for peace, you will not exclude any single being, regardless of how bad they are, regardless of how terrible they are. We have to understand that because of defilement, because of suffering, that's why they say the thing they say, they do the thing they do. That's why they deserve love and kindness and compassion from us. We should not liberate them, we should not exclude them. And if in your daily life, if you can encounter a problem like this, and others, or similar, or anything, you shouldn't react with anger. But instead, react with kindness. May you be well, happy, and be peaceful with a smile on your face. If you be able to do that, your day will be amazing and peaceful. Because you don't have an enemy. You will be walking freely in this journey without hesitate, without fear, because no enemies, no haters, regardless of what they do, you don't react with anger to them. You are free. And today I would like to talk about, in my final talks, and I would like to remind you, even though you already memorized it, every day I talk, today is going to be my peaceful day. Write that down, right? You memorized it already, right? It's okay to remind you, right? Are you tired of it yet? Okay, then let me talk about it. When our mind is free, it will pick up all the trash to chew it over and over. That is the nature of the mind. When we let our mind vacant without anything better to do, it will automatically pick up all the trash. Trash means all those suffering, all those defilements, bad thoughts, bad habits, and old habits. This mind automatically pick them up and think it over and over. That is when it's overwhelmed with suffering, and then you give up your life. For that reason, don't let your mind be free. Don't let it be free. Give it some job to do. So when you wake up in the morning, instead of snooze that alarm, you need to get up right away. Okay? Don't snooze. Get up. The first thing when you get up is not to check your social media or check your messages, but to put your phone away. And then make your bed nice and neat and clean. Okay, this is very important. It's because this will create a new habit for you to train your mind. Then after that, you go to the bathroom for your cleaning. Yes? But don't bring your phone with you, your lover. The phone is the lover that I always share. Don't bring your lover to the restroom. Why you always bring the lover to the bathroom? And so when you don't bring your phone to the bathroom, you put it outside. You finish your routine, then come out, get a piece of paper and write down, today is going to be my peaceful day. Focus on that. And then read it over and over with our eyes, and finally read it out loud with our mouth. Today is going to be my peaceful day. Tell the universe that today is going to be my peaceful day. So no one in this world can mess my days up except me. If you don't let it happen, it will not happen. Because when you react, that is when you mess up your day. Okay? If you don't react, your day will be beautiful. And so when you do that, and then now after that you take the breathing method practicing, which is mindfulness practicing. by focusing your breath, knowing each breath going in and knowing each breath going out. Just patiently and mindfully practice like that. To feel it, to know it, to aware of that breath. We are breathing every single second to keep us alive, but it seems like we died a long time ago. It's because we never pay attention to our breath. Just like breathing like a robot. We are not like that. We need to aware of each breath going in and out. Okay? So after that, after you write that down and state that statement to the universe, so that universe will return with peace and kindness to all beings. And then throughout the day, be mindful on everything we do, one task, one thing at a time. Do not multitask anymore. Now that I would like to listen to this voice, because during the walk there are like 50,000 of people gathering, and then when I asked all people to repeat the statement, to tell the universe the statement that today is going to be my peaceful day, and today is a very special occasion, I would like all of us to repeat this because I missed it. It's been over 2 months. I missed hearing this statement. Let me count to 3, and we are gonna say, today is going to be my peaceful day. Are you ready? Okay, I count to 3. 1, 2, and 3. Louder. Louder. You imagine that sound, that voice, and that energy can spread all over the universe. If all 8 billions of people in this earth can do the same thing every single day, what's going to happen? Peace. That is when peace begins. But in order for us to reach to that stage, now we have to make peace for ourselves by practicing writing that statement every day and mindful with your action, your speech, and your thoughts every single day. Feel peace from within. That is my message today. So now I would like to listen to all of you if you have any questions for me.
There is a profound and poignant moment that occurs at the end of any great pilgrimage, a quiet space between the final step of the journey and the first step of the rest of our lives. When the long physical walk across the country finally reaches its destination, the dust settles, the cheering fades, and the weary travelers are left standing at the finish line. Yet beneath the triumph of completion, a crucial question arises, one that asks us to look deeply into our own hearts. What have we truly received from this journey? It is tempting to believe that crossing a physical finish line is the culmination of our efforts, but true transformation is rarely marked by a location on a map. We must ask ourselves if we have found a genuine moment of peace, or if we are simply returning to our homes as the exact same people we were before we set out. Have we merely carried our old suffering, our old resentments, and our old habits across a great distance, only to unpack them again in the same familiar rooms? The startling, beautiful truth of walking for peace is that arriving at the destination is merely the beginning. The walk is not over just because the miles have been counted. The journey has just begun because true peace is not a place we visit. It is a daily conscious path we must choose to walk for the rest of our lives. With 8 billion souls sharing this fragile earth, the need for this continuous internal pilgrimage has never been more urgent. We are asked to carry the message forward, to extend the trail infinitely into our daily routines, our families, and our communities. As we step back into the rhythm of our everyday lives, we inevitably encounter the friction of the world. A pilgrimage of peace does not shield us from the harshness of reality. Rather, it changes how we respond to it. Along any road, whether a literal highway or the metaphorical path of our careers and relationships, we will encounter those who are deeply lost in their own suffering. They may direct anger, misunderstanding, or cruelty toward us. The instinct naturally is to react with defensiveness or reciprocal anger, to armor our hearts and fight back. But the practice of mindfulness invites us to a radical, liberating alternative. When faced with hostility, we are asked to look past the sharp edges of the behavior and see the profound pain that drives it. People who are hurting often hurt others. Their anger is a tragic expression of their own internal defilements and suffering. Instead of meeting their fire with more fire, we can choose to respond with an unconditional offering of loving kindness. May you be well, happy, and peaceful. This is not a passive surrender, but an act of immense emotional strength. We refuse to exclude anyone from our compassion, regardless of how terrible their actions may seem in the moment. By offering love to those who seem to deserve it the least, we realize that they are actually the ones who need it the most. More importantly, this practice sets us entirely free. When we refuse to react with anger, we drop the heavy, exhausting burden of carrying enemies. We can walk freely through our lives unburdened by fear or hesitation, because a heart that meets hostility with a warm, unwavering smile cannot be conquered by hatred. Yet walking this path of open-hearted compassion is not always easy. And there are days when we feel profoundly alone, wondering if the teachings and the peace we have cultivated have abandoned us. We might recall the comforting promise of a spiritual teacher or a guiding light who says, "If you don't leave me, I will not leave you." At first glance, this sounds like a conditional kind of love, an exchange that requires our constant loyalty. But the deeper, more beautiful meaning of this promise reveals the very mechanics of mindfulness. The teacher, the lesson, and the peace itself do not physically abandon us. They exist entirely within our own attention. When we are mindfully present, when we listen to our heartbeat, feel the rhythm of our breath, and dedicate ourselves to experiencing one single moment at a time, we are holding on to that peace. The teacher and the teaching are vibrantly alive within our thoughts. But the moment we give up the practice, the moment we surrender to the chaos of old habits and mindless rushing, we are the ones who walk away. We lose the connection not because peace has hidden from us, but because we have closed our eyes. The presence of tranquility in our lives is deeply intertwined with our willingness to practice it. As long as we continue to walk the path of awareness, the peace we seek walks right beside us, an inseparable companion on the journey. To maintain this companion, we must be deeply vigilant about the state of our own minds, recognizing a simple but dangerous truth: an unoccupied, unguarded mind will naturally gravitate toward suffering. It is the nature of the human mind, when left vacant and without a purposeful focus, to wander into the shadows. Without anything better to do, the mind acts like a restless scavenger picking up the trash of our lives. It begins to chew on old regrets, rehearse future anxieties, and replay painful memories over and over again. This recycling of defilements and bad habits is how we become overwhelmed by sorrow, sometimes even losing our will to embrace life fully. The secret to overcoming this cycle is not to aggressively fight the negative thoughts, but simply to refuse to leave the mind vacant. We must give the mind a beautiful, constructive job to do. By consciously directing our attention toward our present actions, our breath, and our chosen intentions, we build a warm, inviting home for our thoughts, leaving no room for the trash of unnecessary suffering to accumulate. We become the active caretakers of our inner landscape, sweeping the floors of our consciousness with gentle, deliberate focus. This vital work of caretaking begins the very second we open our eyes each morning, offering us a daily opportunity to set the trajectory of our lives. The transition from sleep to waking is a vulnerable, sacred threshold, yet we often squander it. When the alarm sounds, the temptation is strong to hit the snooze button, delaying our engagement with the world, or worse, to immediately reach for our phones. We bring our digital devices into our beds and our bathrooms, treating them like a lover we cannot bear to be separated from. By instantly flooding our waking minds with the noise of social media messages and external demands, we surrender our peace before our feet have even touched the floor. To reclaim our lives, we must reclaim our mornings. This means stepping out of bed immediately, leaving the phone behind, and engaging in a simple, grounding physical task, like making the bed nice and neat. This is not just a chore. It is the first intentional act of the day, a way of telling the mind that we are present, organized, and in command of our environment. By completing this small act of care and moving through our morning routines without the distraction of a screen, we create a sanctuary of quiet clarity. We train the mind to be present with the physical reality of the morning, laying a foundation of calm that will support us through whatever challenges the day might hold. With the mind grounded and the noise of the world temporarily held at bay, we are ready to declare our intention to the universe. This is a practice of immense quiet power, writing down the statement, "Today is going to be my peaceful day." It is not enough to merely think it. We must bring it into physical reality. We write it down, focusing our eyes on the words, reading them over and over until they sink into our consciousness. Then we speak them out loud, using our own voice to claim our reality. This simple declaration is a profound act of taking absolute responsibility for our own well-being. By stating that today will be a peaceful day, we make a radical commitment. No one else has the power to ruin our day unless we grant them the permission to do so. External events will happen, traffic will snarl, people will be unkind, plans will fall apart. But our internal reaction remains under our own sovereign control. If we refuse to react with anger or despair, if we hold fast to our spoken boundary of peace, the day remains beautiful. We realize that the quality of our day is not dictated by what the world does to us, but by the grace and intention with which we choose to respond. This grace is sustained moment by moment through the simple, miraculous act of breathing and the discipline of doing one thing at a time. Every single second, our breath flows in and out, keeping us alive, yet so often we move through our lives completely unaware of it, breathing like automated machines, deadened to the miracle of our own existence. Mindfulness calls us back to the breath, asking us to patiently and gently feel the air entering and leaving our bodies. When we pair this deep awareness with the commitment to abandon the frantic myth of multitasking, everything changes. We learn to do one task, to speak one word, to take one step at a time. And as we practice this individual peace, we realize it is part of a much larger resonance. Imagine the breathtaking energy of 50,000 voices standing together, declaring to the universe that they choose peace. Now imagine the transformative power if all 8 billion people on this earth made that same choice, waking up every morning to choose compassion over anger, presence over distraction, and love over fear. World peace is not a distant utopian dream. It is the natural consequence of billions of individual peaceful days woven together. But to reach that glorious stage, the work must always begin right here, right now, within ourselves. By being mindful of our every action, speech, and thought, we take the next step on the unending walk for peace, knowing that whenever we walk with love, we never walk alone.